The Entrepreneurial Journey podcast. We're talking business and building a culture that's kick-ass. Where we make it happen, grab your seat, let's have a blast. At the Entrepreneurial Journey podcast.
Hi, Katie. How are you?
I'm good. Yes. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. So welcome everybody to the Entrepreneurial Journey podcast. Today I have Katie Goody with me, who is the director of the Win Marketing Company. Hello, Katie, and welcome.
Hi there.
Good stuff. Now, Katie, you're going to clear up some mysteries for us today, hopefully, specifically around Instagram, because I know that's one of the areas you specialize in.
Yeah.
So first of all, tell me about the moment you decided to set up your own business.
I was writing a blog post about this week, actually.
Oh.
I was at it's a series of moments, but I will just give you the highlight reel. I was at the World Scout Jamboree in Japan in 2015. On the team who were responsible for producing the site newspaper every day. There were about 25 of us. It's an 8-page full cover, not broadsheet, but like tabloid size edition. And it was going out to an audience of about 33,000 scouts of various ages. And it was published online as well.
Okay.
And I was an editor in the team, and I loved it. We were very focused on our goals, and everybody had a specific role. And when we ran into problems, we could just solve them amongst ourselves and get on with it.
Mm-hmm.
One of the days, our editor-in-chief, everybody gets a day off when you're volunteering as staff at the Jamboree, and it was his day off. And so somebody else needed to be the editor-in-chief for that day, and it was me. I'd been hoping it would be me. I'd been angling for the job, and so I was lieutenant editor for the day, and it was like probably the best thing I'd ever done in my life. And I said to one of my friends, I was like, why is my real life not like this?
Right.
Because we were only there for 12 days, and I was working at the time in a local authority in their web team. And it was like someone had concocted the exact opposite working experience for me to have a go at for 10, 12 days.
Brilliant.
And I loved it. And so I knew I needed a new job, but it took me about 6 months after that to realize that I didn't have the exact set of skills and experiences that would get me a job that I wanted in a marketing agency. I knew I wanted to do internet stuff, and I knew I liked writing and being creative. And so I was like, well, marketing seems like a good fit. But nobody reckoned that my experience counted as marketing experience, and they only wanted to give me entry-level jobs that it just didn't feel like the exciting thing that I wanted to move into. It was all like a data entry, and we've written 17 tweets and we'd like you to schedule them for us. And I'm like, can't I write the tweets? Would that be okay? So decided I would freelance for a while and get some proper marketing experience to tack on to my not quite proper marketing experience, and then maybe someone would hire me. Went to a couple of business gateway workshops, and then emailed a bunch of contacts, mostly who I knew through Scouts, and just said, I do social media now and I build websites. So if you need anything, then just give me a shout. And I got some clients.
Brilliant.
And I never went back.
Oh, that's fantastic. I think the Scout Jamboree in Japan is a whole different podcast.
Yes,
I have to say I'm quite curious as to how you got there, but let's move on and leave that one just tentatively hanging.
Sure.
So you set up your own business. You kind of morphed into it, really. And who are your clients then? Who do you look after in this space?
I work mostly with small businesses, but not exclusively. I do also work with local authorities, large companies, charities, and kind of anyone who's in the market for marketing.
Okay.
And but I don't work with absolutely anyone. But it's not an organization type or an industry that I'm specific to. It's more about the attitude and the ambition of whoever it is that wants me to help.
Yeah.
Often that's the business owner, but sometimes it's the social media or the marketing manager in the organization.
Yeah, you've hit on something really interesting there. People often ask me, what's the demographic of TriCrest? And I said it's not actually a demographic, it's a mindset. So we only want to work with those ambitious entrepreneurs who, whatever their business, they want to make a difference. And it really doesn't matter, what bit of industry or commerce they're in, as long as they're making a difference either to their employees or their community or the wider economy. But it's that ambition, it's that sort of drive that we like to work with too.
Yeah.
Okay, good. And what do you do for them exactly once you've found these clients?
A few different things. So I build websites in WordPress. I'm not a developer,
Okay.
but I design the websites using a kind of front end tool, and then train the client in managing their own website and hand it all over to them. So they're not paying me extortionate agency fees for maintenance. So that's kind of one thing. I also do training workshops in various guises. Sometimes that's an introduction to social media for a whole organization or people from within an organization. Sometimes it's more kind of strategic. So I do my own Instagram masterclasses. It's like a full day workshop where business owners come and we spend 4 different sessions going through like nitty gritty details of which hashtags are you using and how do you choose them, planning out your social media content, specifically on Instagram and that kind of thing. So there's a whole range there from very beginner, like what is Instagram, like have you heard of a hashtag, to the kind of detailed strategy stuff that the more ambitious business owners are very excited to get into. So
And how? Oh, sorry, Katie, go on.
sorry, and there's a third thing, which is a more a sort of coaching partnership type relationship where I'll help somebody figure out what their strategy should be, one to one, and then work with them and check in with them to make sure that they're able to deliver on that. So I don't deliver content for people, but I support them through creating their own stuff.
Oh, okay, I see. Now, here's a question that I've had for a long time about Instagram is how do you...
Oh, I missed that.
How do you commercialize Instagram? How do you make it work for you as a business?
That's it depends a lot on your business model, what's going to make sense. So in a product driven business, then you can set up shoppable content on Instagram so people can click on a post and see which products are featured in it and then go through to a website and buy them. And that involves a few bits of technical setup, but is quite a straightforward thing to understand. The way that I do mine is that I provide value up front to people in terms of marketing advice, Instagram advice, some ideas around organizing your life so that your marketing actually happens. Occasionally some things on more like SEO and websitey stuff. And then when I have something to offer, like an online training course or an in-person workshop, or I've got some free consultancy days, then I kind of pitch that to people who are already part of my audience. So I add value first, and then I make an offer of here's the thing you can buy from me if you're interested.
I see. Right. Okay. Crikey. And that's just one social media platform, isn't it?
It is, but it is my focus when it comes to marketing. I don't do a lot of marketing. I do a little bit on LinkedIn, and I don't really do anything much on Facebook except posting in the occasional Facebook group. My Twitter accounts have been inactive since they were created. I only have them to save the handles from someone else getting them. So to prioritize really the channel that you want to find most of your customers on.
It's about finding your tribe, isn't it, and where they hang out.
Yes, yeah. I'm not a fan of the word tribe,
Okay.
but your community, um, because communities exist already, and then you just need to find the one you want to join in with.
Mm.
You can certainly build a community around your business,
Hmm.
but you will go go places faster, I think, if you're able to connect with an existing community and serve them in a way that they're not currently being served.
That's interesting as well. I've never thought of it from that point of view. Find the community that already exists.
Yeah. And
And
a lot of people, when they start up businesses, are doing that. They're part of a community and they observe a problem and then
mm,
realize that they can solve it. And so
hmm.
that tends to be where you see a lot of business owners are saying, well, my ideal customer is someone just like me, but like 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Because
definitely.
they've been on the journey that they're encouraging people to come on, or they've created a product which meets a need that they had, so they're really familiar with their community, and that works really, really well.
Yeah, yeah, okay. Why don't you like the word tribe?
It feels a little bit uh oh, what's the word for it? Appropriated.
Oh,
You
okay.
know, like just I don't know, I just prefer community because it's um yeah, I don't know. Like tribe makes me think of uh, people with like painted faces and
Yeah, yeah, it does have that image,
and
definitely.
that's not, you know, like cultural appropriation. It doesn't feel fair for me to like I might use clan if I wanted to feel particularly Scottish.
Uh-huh.
Um, community just feels a bit more neutral.
Oh, okay, okay, yeah, fair enough. And what's been the scariest moment so far for you in your business?
Um, uh, truthfully, it was
Mm.
the 1 month when I was so skint I had to borrow 100 quid off my parents so I could eat.
Oh.
Which it wasn't even that near the beginning. I had a really good savings cushion from when I'd been at the local authority.
Mm.
So I'd left my job in 2016 in the summer, and by February, was it February 2018?
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to remember now. Yeah, it must be February 2018. I was almost completely skint,
Oh,
and I actually took a contracting role with the local authority I worked at before, doing something similar to my previous job but more specialized, and
right.
working with a lot of my old colleagues. And there was a part of me that felt like I'd kind of messed it up.
Mm.
And this wasn't why I'd left. I didn't leave so that they would then hire me back and pay me a day rate and
Yeah.
be laughing. That was the opposite.
Yeah.
I just wanted out. And so I was there for 7 months and built up a new savings barrier, and tried really hard to do some really cool work, and was met with just people who didn't like change at every turn, and then remembered why I'd left in the first place. Harvard, basically. My contract ended, and they told me that there would be no more funding to renew it. So I organized a lot of other work, and then 2 weeks later, they were like, "Good news, we can keep you on." And I was like, "Phew, no, you can't."
No, I'm off. Oh, yeah, that must have been hard.
Mm. Yeah, it was a difficult month, and it was like I'd invoiced for some stuff that hadn't been paid, and
Mm.
if the invoices had come in, they did come in on time, but if they'd come in just a little bit more promptly, then
Mm.
it would have kept me going for, at least one more month.
Mm.
But it wasn't.
Yeah, I think when businesses pay late, they don't always understand what the knock-on effect is for a freelancer or a sole
Yeah,
trader, and
yeah,
it's often the difference between being able to meet your rent or buy food or not.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, okay,
Um, but I'm very privileged because my parents are my landlords. So even when I didn't have the money to pay my rent, I wasn't at risk of being kicked out.
yeah,
And so that was like when people say that I'm so brave or perhaps slightly crazy for having left my job without really having my business in order to get, like, I didn't have any clients when I left. I didn't have I didn't really have a proper plan. I was just
Right.
like, I could do this social media thing, and I know people pay for it, so it'll be okay. Um, I had the savings buffer, and I had a massive safety net in the parents as landlords thing. So
Mm,
definitely acknowledge that privilege as well.
yeah, it helps. It helps.
It does.
Yeah. What do you love now about being your own boss?
Um, I love that nobody gets to tell me what I have to do.
Right.
People tell me what they'd like me to do, and what they want from me, but they can't tell me that I have to.
Right.
And that for me is quite an important distinction. I'm the only person who gets to tell me what I have to do, and I
That
like
is
that freedom.
the nice bit of freedom. Yeah, that
Yeah,
is. Yeah,
yeah,
that's good.
and it comes with all the responsibility as well,
Mm,
and all the hours, and the never-ending Tetris of trying to fit together client work and client appointments and marketing and networking and all the other things you have to do. But I wouldn't
yeah.
I wouldn't go back now. I'm completely unemployable.
You do end up that way. Yes, you
Yep.
do. Definitely. And I think somebody once asked me whether, I was ever tempted to just sit and watch daytime TV because I work from home. I was like, well, no, because I have a mortgage to pay and food to buy. And, that means you don't ever sit and watch daytime
Yeah.
TV because you've got a lot to do to get the money through the door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I sat yesterday evening and watched 2 episodes of a Netflix series and felt like it was the most luxurious evening ever, because I didn't open my laptop.
Yeah.
Um, and it's like, yeah, and I remember in my first kind of 6 to 8 months, I probably did only actually work about 12 hours a week,
Uh-huh.
because there wasn't that much work that people wanted me to do. And there was only so much time I could spend networking without having anything new to talk about. And I was still kind of figuring it out. So I didn't actually work that much. And
Right.
I sometimes just, I wish I could go back to only working 12 hours a week just for one week, just a week, where it's all a bit more relaxed. But I think about which pieces of this would I get rid of in order to make everything a bit calmer, and I'm like, I want all of it.
Mhm.
I love every single client, every single I mean, okay, I don't like love them, like we're not best buddies, but
Uh-huh.
I love the challenges that come in the different projects, and the constant variety. um
Yeah, and it
yeah,
doesn't feel like work when you love it, does it?
yeah, mostly.
Yeah.
Occasionally it feels a lot more like work than sitting in an office scrolling through LinkedIn instead of delivering things um, from the local authority days. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
mostly it does feel like work, but it's a joy to be working.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. And who inspires you?
Um. Oh gosh, I never have a good answer to this question. I lots of people inspire me in small ways. I don't
Mm.
think there's one person who I'm like, oh, I want to be like so and so when I grow up.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think there's a lot of online business owners that everyone will have heard of, like Marie Forleo and Gary Vee, Jenna Kutcher. They have all got massive podcasts and put out loads of content, but are they're just killing it, and they
Mm.
are living the lives that they want to live and running businesses that bring them joy. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, yeah, that I would like all of those pieces, and and it's just a case of getting there for me at the moment. Like I'm just kind of building things, and that's where I like to go. So they inspire me, but my clients inspire me, my parents inspire me, my friends do as well. So yeah, just I think everybody in their own separate way. It's going to sound really cheesy, but like everyone's got something to offer the world, and I like to see that in everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Oh, I've got to ask, what Netflix were you watching? What series were you watching?
Oh my gosh, the cheerleader documentary
Oh,
called Cheer.
right. I've
It's
not seen that.
amazing.
Is it?
It was actually I managed to get through all 6 episodes of the whole series. It only took me like 2 weeks,
Well done.
which to other people is going to sound crazy because they'd watch that all in a day. But it was so good. I recommend it, and it was very it's very motivational and like inspiring because these kids work so hard and push themselves through so much. And
Wow.
yeah, it's
Hmm.
cool.
Okay, I'll have to look out for that.
Yeah.
What motivates you and gets you out of bed in the morning?
Leaving my phone in another room.
Oh,
I'm
what?
like, I can't check it until I've got up, so I'm gonna have to get up.
That's a great. I've not heard that one before. That's a great one, Katie. I like that.
But also just having a bunch of things on that I'm looking forward to doing. And that happens every day because I get to decide what's on the schedule.
Yeah, you do. It's nice. It is.
Yeah.
I like that feeling about running my own business and what am I doing today? What would I like
Hmm.
to be doing?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I like that.
Yeah. And I
Definitely.
always spend a few minutes before I go to bed because my phone's in another room and I'm not
Hmm.
scrolling through Instagram. Um, just writing down what's the plan for today, what do I have to get done, what are going to be the good moments, is there anything that's going to be a challenge, and just kind of pre-thinking it a little bit. And that
Right.
also helps to settle my mind so that I can go to sleep because I know what's coming up and
That's
I
a
don't
good
have to worry about
strategy.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a really good strategy.
I'm
Definitely.
trying very hard to maximize my sleep this year
Okay.
because I think it's like the most valuable kind of self-care, is making sure that you're well rested and then your brain works so much better than
So
when
true.
you're tired. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so true. There's no glory in going without sleep. It just leads
No.
to poor decision making apart from anything
Exactly.
else. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it really does. Talking of which, what does keep you awake at night, if anything, then?
Um, just like ideas about things and sometimes ruminating on the same, if I've got like little problems to solve, and things like that. It's never anything like deep and stressful or anything.
Good.
Yeah, it's mostly just that my I think a lot all the time, and
Okay.
so I have to like basically meditate to get to sleep.
Right. Okay. Do you have an app?
Well, no, because my phone's in another room. I
Of
had been using
course.
the Calm sleep stories, and they are really good.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that it's just, someone reads you a story about a train journey, and there's sounds of like rain falling, and it's very peaceful. But um, the scrolling that comes before the sleep story
Mm.
and when I wake up in the morning was not helping with the, like, I was spending lots of time lying in bed, not doing anything. I wasn't sleeping and I wasn't producing anything and I wasn't really resting or doing anything properly like fun. If I'm going to spend time chilling out, I want to choose intentionally what I'm doing with that time so that it's properly like fulfilling.
You pick on something really interesting there, and I've tried a few sort of meditation apps, and like you say, the sleep stories.
Mm,
And that is the thing that puts me off, is that you have to have your phone next to your bed.
yeah,
And actually that's the worst thing for your brain
yeah,
as you're sleeping.
yeah.
Um and and so I've stopped doing it now at bedtime, and like you, my phone's actually downstairs in the kitchen.
Mm,
Um because it ended up being counterproductive.
yeah. And I basically just rebelled for a long time against all this advice that says you should leave your phone somewhere else because my partner lives in Dunblane, so we don't
Hmm.
see each other all the time. I'm in Edinburgh.
Hmm.
Um, and so I'm always like, I want to be able to like text him and say goodnight. And like,
Mm.
if he's not going to, like, I want him to be able to phone me to say goodnight and stuff like that. And it's like, actually, I can just intentionally speak to him slightly earlier in the evening,
Mm.
and then I can leave my phone somewhere else. And I don't need to scroll through Instagram to settle my mind
No.
because I can just, write things down and think things through. And it takes, 10 minutes, whereas I'd scroll for 45 minutes without necessarily feeling any better.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but having used, I was using Calm,
Uh-huh.
and I was using it for maybe 3 months or so. So I had a lot of practice at meditation, and now I know
Mm-hmm.
that I count, you just count whilst you're breathing, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever you notice you're not thinking about counting and breathing, then you refocus on the counting and the breathing,
Yeah.
and eventually your mind just goes, oh, this is really boring. I'm going to go to sleep.
Yeah, you're right.
And that's the goal.
It's true. I asked my yoga teacher for a chant or something to meditate because I had this app thing, and she said, do so ham, and you breathe in on so and breathe out on ham. And she said you do it 180 times. So a bit like you, by the time I got to about 32 or 25, I was asleep anyway, so it didn't really matter.
Yeah, I used to count my breaths, like count each individual breath down from 100.
Right.
And now I just count in 2, 3, out 2, 3, in
nice.
2, 3. Slower than that, obviously. But I don't want to put all your listeners to sleep.
No, but breathing's so important. It's underrated, and it's so important.
Yes. Yeah, and actually, I do still use the meditation app, but when I'm feeling stressed during the day, I'm like, there's too much to do and I'm panicking. Just 10 minutes to sit and meditate. Whoever you are, however busy you are, you've always got 5 minutes to just sit and calm down before you get on with it.
Somebody gave me some very wise words last year and said, when you're really, really busy and up against it, that's the precise moment to meditate, which is interesting. Just when you think you really can't, that's the moment to take, like you say, 5 minutes out.
Yeah, I'm sure there's some guy, some quote that says, I meditate for an hour every morning unless I'm really busy, and then I meditate for 2 hours.
That's it.
That's 2 hours is a lot. Like I could be sleeping. Priorities, but I do get the point.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so if your business is a person, what kind of personality would it have, Katie?
It's just like me. It is talks too much and probably too quickly. Likes all things bright yellow. Doesn't like everything to be too neat and tidy and organized. Like a little bit of chaos is good for creativity, and a little bit of what's the word? Things happening unexpected. Spontaneity,
right?
Is good as well. So if you want to know what my business is like as a person, you can scroll through my Instagram feed, and that the pictures on there give you quite a good sense quite quickly of what my brain looks like on the inside.
Okay, and how will we find you on Instagram?
My handle is the Whinco, so THEWHINCO.
Okay, the Whinco. So we can find you on Instagram, and I like that. A little bit of
inside my brain.
Chaos helps creativity. I like that. I like that a lot. That's good. That's good advice. Okay, right. We've come to the end of our time, Katie. Thank you so much.
It's been a pleasure. I hadn't realized the time must have flown. I can't see a clock.
No, it has flown. I think I've learned a bit about Instagram. I've learned a bit about the inside of your head, which is good. And we can all follow you on Instagram at the Whinco.
Yes. That would be wonderful. I'm very close to 500 followers. So
right.
Would like to get some more.
Let's push it over that 500.
Amazing.
Marvelous. You have a wonderful weekend.
You too. Thanks so much, Rebecca. Lovely to chat.
Thanks, Katie. Take care. Bye.
Bye.
The Entrepreneurial Journey Podcast. We're talking business and building a culture that's kick-ass, where we make it happen. Grab your